Welcome, everybody back. It's Wednesday, my dudes. That's for the young kids. Those are for the kids who know what's going on with the memes. What's up? What's going on? How's your week been? It's only Tuesday, or it's Wednesday now, and I already want to fucking punch myself in the face. Yup. Well, like I said last time on Tuesday. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep saying it like that. On Tuesday, I said that Wednesdays were going to be Q&A days. So I put it out there. I put it out to the gram, to the Instagram. Everyone knows what the gram is, you fucking idiot. I put it out to the gram, and I got some questions. Got a lot of them from my friends. That was I appreciate it, but I can't ask on my podcast Michelle who Suwoo is. That's an international blood call, and I'm not affiliated with any gang. And if you want to find a funny video on who Suwoo is or happens to be, you should go watch Crib Advice with High C on YouTube. That's funny. But I did get some questions. And I actually got an email. So we'll we'll take it one at a time. But most important question right off the bat. How are you? How are you doing on this Wednesday? I'm doing okay. I mean, it's Wednesday, middle of the week. You know, still got a couple days left. I took this weekend off of work so I can go support my dogs at the Renatus CrossFit Renatus up in Hemet, because my boy Corey is going to be competing, and I'm going to watch him compete before this is the last competition before he goes and enlists in the Army. That's going to happen soon for him. And just a little bit ago, we didn't even know if it was possible. He finally did it. So look at that. He's on his way. It's been good. I can't really complain. The most important part is figuring out what it is that you're grateful for instead of turning it around and finding out what you absolutely fucking hate out of the day. Trust me, it's much, much happier if you are mindful and figure out what you like. So let's start. So some of the questions I got on Instagram, a lot of them were about challenges, mental blocks, fears. I'll kind of go through them, but one of the first questions that I got were, what are the biggest challenges that you face in your everyday life, and what do you do to overcome them? I would have to say that some of the biggest challenges that I face every day are kind of just really has to do with apathy, just not caring about everything on the spectrum, just caring about certain things, and it kind of puts me in a bad position where, you know, I mean, obviously, I don't know what's the statistic. I think it's like 80% of Americans don't like their jobs or don't like what they do for work, and I'm part of that. So naturally, I'm going to get distracted at work, and I shouldn't. Being a responsible person, responsible adult, excuse me while I take a drink. being a responsible person, responsible adult, you should, focus and care about what it is that you do. And I've definitely been trying to do a little bit of a better job at that. So I definitely say being apathetic towards the things that I don't want to do. I got it tattooed on my arm. Today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't. That means something. That means being able to do it all, and regardless of whether or not you want to do it, you got to do it. I would just say overall kind of boredom, boredom, and not boredom, but I'm incredibly afraid every day of the fact that I seem to be wasting my time. Time is the only resource that you can't get back. And when you start thinking of time as a resource, kind of like in Interstellar, Murph, that movie about Murph and going to space. But think about time as a resource. You got to think about it. Matthew McConaughey going out into space, being a space cowboy. Thinking about time as a resource, that's one of those things that you can't get back. And when you start thinking about it that way, it can really mess with your mind. Going down to work and working, you'll spend 6-7 hours there, and it comes out and you feel like you spent 27 years on planet work, and it's terrifying because there's a lot of things that I feel like I should be doing with my time, like training, like podcasting, like writing and reading and learning and being a better all-around person. I definitely think that that's something that I should be investing in, something I should be doing. But the fact that, my time is taken up by other things that I can't really focus on it, that's where that first, that apathetic part of it comes, where I don't care about what I'm doing because it's wasting my time. And I hate the fact that it's wasting my time, so I'm just kind of mad at the fact that it's wasting my time. So it's getting over the fear, that crippling fear of feeling like I'm wasting my time. Time is a resource. Got to think about it that way. And I don't know. That's probably the biggest thing. I feel like I could be doing more. I could be doing better stuff in regards to the things that I like doing and what I want to do. Things that, those big three that I talked about, those big three goals that I have. There's only a certain amount of hours in a day, and one of those hours costs 7 years, and you can't really mess around with that. I would say the thing that I do to overcome the apathy and the fear of losing my time, it's focusing on the opportunities at hand to improve at the things that I'm passionate about. So when I'm here and I'm sitting down and I'm recording and editing, putting it all together, putting it up on, online, I'm taking the time to want to improve, and I take that time and I really cherish it. I love doing this, and training, going out to train, and all those small opportunities that I get. The fact you gotta, you gotta change your get tos. Oh no, your have tos into get tos. So instead of saying, "Oh, I have to go home and I have to record a podcast," no, I get to. I have to do this shitty set of squats at 98% and do it for a triple. No. You get to, son. You get to do that. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing. Making sure that that you're cherishing the time that you have, and making the time that you have with the things that make you happy, making sure that you're doing everything you can. I got another question. Someone asked me, who are my idols? You know, I like the question. It's pretty broad. I would assume that because we're talking about idols, it would be who are my weightlifting idols. But I'll kind of go into all of it. You know what I'm saying? Weightlifting idols, I would definitely have to say, you know, those old guys, the guys that I kind of started watching when I first started getting into weightlifting. Were like, that's what I want to do. Like the Yanni Marchikovs and the Stefan Botev. Like Stefan Botev, watching him jerk that crisp, very shallow, fast jerk. It's something I try to emulate my jerk like, and I've only done it. I attempted to recreate it really recently, and it's definitely those guys at the peak. You know, all the Bulgarians and all those, yeah, they're all Bulgarians. Like Stefan Yanni was from Bulgaria, then he left and he changed into Jaber Said Salem. Andrei Chamerkin, the guy weighed like 700 pounds. He was from Russia. Basically anybody on those Iron Mind videos, if you go on YouTube and look up Iron Mind, all those videos of those guys. I mean, obviously the new guys too. Like there's some really cool, there's some really talented and extraordinary people. Like, I don't know if you saw it, but Lasha snatched 210 in the training hall before the European Championship, and Cleaninger 245 for like 3. And that dude's about to break some records. He's about to smash some records. Like, obviously that's goals. Those are some goals, but I don't know how realistic I don't know how close I can get. I'll come in a very close second, I hope, because that dude is nuts. As far as like idols and like my everyday, maybe loves like podcasting idols. I mean, Bill Burr's hilarious. I've been listening to his podcast for a couple years now, and it's, you know, that's one of those things that got me into it. You know, I would say who's my idol? Who's my hero? My dad. My dad's my hero. I don't know if you guys got the reference, but that's that video of Tom Brady saying that his dad is his hero. Everyday life. I mean, it's everyday idol. Oh man, that's a loaded question. I'll come back to that one. This question was something that someone sent in, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It was, how do you overcome your fears, especially if you're afraid of trying? If trying is a thing that you're afraid of. That's definitely a big question. So we'll break it down. I think first the most important part is finding what it is that you're afraid of. Understanding what it is that you're afraid of, and accepting the fact that it does frighten you, that it does scare you, and it is something that that does intimidate you. I mean, as a human being, we all have fears and things that intimidate us, and things that just scare us rationally and irrationally. But if you're more afraid of trying, if the thing that you're scared of the most is trying, I think that that's a bigger issue, because if you don't ever try, you won't ever, you can't find out ever if you can overcome that fear. Because that's all life is. It's overcoming those fears and intimidations and situations and another word that ends with Asian. All those things where if you have to attempt something, if you have to go for it, but you can't even try it, I mean, what are you really made of? How do you test yourself? How do you test yourself with who you are as a person, what your character is like, if you can't face the fact that, yeah, this is scary. This is something scary, and you know what? I might fail, I might lose, I might do something, but I'm not going to die. Granted, if what you're afraid of is like bears, yeah, I wouldn't suggest going to live and expose yourself with them. Like that's a terrible situation, so don't do that. But if it's something that, yeah, if it's something like putting your art in an art show and failing, feeling like you're going to fail, like you're not going to sell one piece, how do you know? How do you know? There's something out there for everybody. Everybody likes something. Everybody likes something. I have, kind of talking about Corey again, like he just kind of had to put it out there, and he was afraid that he wasn't going to get into the military, and he could have stopped a long time ago. It took him 5 years. 5 years to just get in. 5 years of trying to get medically cleared. And he could have stopped. People were telling him no, and I'm sure, and like we talked about it, he was afraid that he was going to have to find something else, but he was willing to try and overcome that and continue to try to get in, and look what happened. It happens. It works. So figure out what it is that you're afraid of, and put them in a list of importance. It's kind of what we talked about on Monday of this week, was what are the things that you have to do to become the person that you want to be. If one of those things scares you, but you have to do it to become a professional, you have to do it to become a professional you, why wouldn't you do it? Again, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill you. It shouldn't. But if you're willing to expose yourself and make yourself vulnerable, there's nothing wrong with that. You can only learn from that. You learn from failure, you learn from failure, you learn from victory, you learn from everything in between failure and victory, everything that takes you left and right, and those fears and emotions, and all that's good for you. All that's good for you. That's just seasoning. Nobody likes bland chicken. Nobody does. And everybody out there going, bland chicken's kind of good. No, it's not. You put the salt, you put the pepper, garlic salt, a little paprika, little bits of onion salt and garlic powder, a lot of it. All that stuff makes it better. And all those emotions, all those experiences, that's going to make you a more well-rounded, seasoned individual. And the older you get, the more seasoned you're going to be. And then when you die, whenever somebody eats you, you're going to be delicious. Oh, gosh. What did I say? That was so dumb. All right. Moving forward. Pressing on here. One of the questions that I got from my guy, and hopefully he's not too mad at me, because I would be pretty pissed. My guy, Brendan, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you. Brendan's my dog from my brother from another mother. He's one of those guys. Oh, someone just asked another question. Okay, I'm gonna talk. Brendan sent me some messages like a month or so ago, and I didn't answer him. And then when I asked the question yesterday, he was pretty pissed. So, I'm gonna answer those. He sent me 3. I'm gonna do 2. Because of time, Brendan. His first question was, again, it's kind of similar to the other things, but I mean, this one ties into training. So this one I can kind of talk about from a little bit more experience. How do you overcome mental blocks in training? As my beautiful, amazing, wonderful coach would say, and I know most of the time she's joking about it, but sometimes her jokes kind of sting, and that's what makes them good. She tells me to suck it up and show her. So, breaking it down, you can say a lot. You can tell yourself, you can tell your coach, you can tell your mom, dad, girlfriend, whomstever, about all the things that you're gonna do, all the things that you're trying to do. And in a training situation, obviously, you're going to tell your coach, you'll tell your partners, you're going to tell everybody around you, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. But have you made that commitment to yourself? So Sage will tell me all the time that she wants me to show her. And we've had conversation after conversation, especially after I got hurt, how, I told her how I wanted to come back. I was going to come back stronger. But, those actions speak louder than words. And on the back end, on the front end, I was telling her, hey, I want to come back 100%. I want to be better. But on the back end, here I was being a mopey little bitch, and I wasn't doing anything about it. And she called me out on it. And I thought that it was a shot and a jab at me. Like, stop being a little bitch. It's time to grow up. Like, this is real now. And I took it that way. I took it the wrong way, where I took it like she's trying to kick me while I'm down, and that's not something that a coach should do. So I got angry and I got mad, and it was my own fault, because all she wanted me to do was be about it. Don't talk about it. Just be about it. And I guess overcoming those mental blocks in training depends on the mental block, but you can apply that to every situation. If you're not progressing, if you're plateauing, are you gonna talk about how you're gonna get through this plateau, or are you gonna be about it? Are you going to talk about how you're gonna do good on the platform, or are you gonna be about it? Are you going to talk about how good you're going to be at the end of all this, or are you going to be about it? The other thing that the other thing when it comes to those mental blocks is, if you have those, like if you have mental blocks, if you do get tired with something, if you do get tired with training, with being an athlete, with the weight of the world, if you get tired of anything, you need to learn the difference between resting and quitting. Learn how to rest and not to quit. Because I find that to be the case with a lot of people where, yeah, you're going to have a mental block. Things are going to get shitty. Things are going to get really bad really quickly, and they'll get worse quicker if you allow them to. But you need to be able to take a break and assess the situation and assess what is it that's the problem and how do we come back from it? How do we tackle it, 1 inch at a time, 1 kilo at a time, one paintbrush stroke at a time, one frame of video at a time, anything that you love doing. How do you tackle it one at a time? You don't have to bust ass and do it all at one time. Learn how to take it easy, learn how to quit, learn how to have balance. No, don't learn how to quit. Sorry. Learn how to take it easy, learn how to have balance, learn how to rest and not to quit. Learn how to take everything one step at a time, because if you're in the middle of a rut, and you've been in the middle of a rut for 6 months and you expect things to get better like that, I got some news for you. It's not going to happen. It's really not. But think of that mental block as a giant redwood tree. Giant redwood tree. You're going to take an axe to it because you're going to try to chop it down, even though I think it might be illegal. You're going to try to chop it down. Are you going to chop it down in one swoop? Unless you're Paul Bunyan, it's not working. You're not going to chop the redwood tree down in one swoop. And the other thing is, are you going to chop that redwood tree down if you hit it all along the trunk in a million different places? No. It won't. It won't come down. You have to chop and chop and chop in the same place for a really long time before that whole barrier comes down. That's how you deal with mental blocks, Brendan. And then Brendan asks, which is better, a good atmosphere or a good coach? I've been in the presence of both. I've definitely been in the presence of both. When I first started weightlifting, I was in a great atmosphere. Not to say that the atmosphere I'm in is not just as good or better. Totally different situation. But the first time when I first started weightlifting, I started weightlifting at an EOS, like a Gold's Gym, in front of all the Zumba ladies, and they would cry and complain and try to get me kicked out. So from there, we met our first coach, and our first coach had his own garage gym. He would let us come over, let us do our thing, and he was he got us to the point where he got me to the point where I had worked hard and did really good at some meets and was moving forward. Dialed my technique in from what it was, and I think gradually I took a step back and allowed me to work and do it myself. But at the same time, I was in a good atmosphere because I was working with my two best friends and my girlfriend. Like, we were all training together in the garage, and it was a hell of a time. It was just us three. You can't beat that. You're just your buds and your girl. You can't beat that. But unless there's someone there beside yourself actively pushing you, it's a little bit hard to to have that bit of distinction on, am I getting better, or am I having, a good sense of fun? And, we did both, but I was really appreciative of the atmosphere, and I learned a lot from my friends, and I watched them grow as athletes, and it was just a good place to be around. Then all of a sudden we switched coaches, and I started getting coached by Sage, and holy shit, man, did everything start taking off a little bit more. I got, when I thought that I was good at what I was doing, she kind of came in and was like, nope, you suck. She didn't say that, but it was like, no, you're trash. You need to start completely over. And that's what we did. And starting from the ground up, I'm glad that I had a good coach there to do that. Someone who paid attention to those intricate details. And now, down the road, I am very thankful for the fact that I've had Sage coach me, because she cares a lot about how, she cares about the smallest details, because the smallest details end up adding up into one whole. The smallest details of a lift can be the reason why you miss or make the lift. Someone who sweats those. And I'm glad that she sweats all over those and gets me and pushes me to where I'm at. And I'm only there because of the fact that she has worked with me and has been such a great coach. Now, the atmosphere with our team now, it's not bad, and it's great all the time, but it is different. This atmosphere is a lot more serious and professional, and I dig this one because of the fact that I feel like we're taking steps forward. It's not just lifting in a garage with my buddies. It's lifting in a garage, but it's with other people who are taking it just as serious as I am. And I really do think you need a good mix of both, but I think the only reason why you attract such a good atmosphere is because of the coach that you have. So if I had to make a choice between a good atmosphere or a good coach, I would definitely choose a good coach first, and then the atmosphere that comes along with it. And if the good atmosphere doesn't come along with it, at least you have a good coach, and you need to stop being such a pretentious little dick and just learn how to lift, because not everyone out there is going to like you. I loved weightlifting in the garage with my buddies, and I'm very thankful for my first coach and where it got me. And now it's completely different, and it's a new life. It's a new training. It's everything's new, and I love everything about my coach and about my team and about my atmosphere now. It's different, but it's the same. So it's like same, but different and same at the same time. So yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? God, you're so stupid. All right, Brendan. So there are questions, bud. Love you. Thanks for being my dog. I don't know. Okay, so my buddy, this guy just followed me right now. What equipment would you get if money wasn't an issue? Max 1 to 3 things. If money wasn't an issue? Shit. Wait, what does one thing constitute? Because if it was max 1 to 3 things, shit. Money is not an issue. All right. I would get God, I would get the Rogue Pyros bar. I have that bar. That's the competition bar that they use at all the national, and American Open events. But I guess I'm not thinking big. Idiot. Um, I would definitely get either the Rogue Pyros bar if you're thinking about doing, you know, like American Opens and national championships, because that's what they use in the U.S. But I think international, I think they use Usaka or Alico. I mean, you can't. I think it's, what are they training with at the training hall right now? I'm pretty sure it's Alico. Let's see. I mean, you can't really go right. Yeah, it's Alico. So Alico bar. Alico bar. Alico bar. You definitely need a set of weights. So, gosh, am I being an Alico elitist right now? You got to do the Alico Olympic weightlifting bar. Depends on how much weight you lift, but definitely. I mean, I used Sarah's Alico plates in her garage. Those shits were the best. So the Alico weightlifting, like the competition plates or the training plates. Oh, the discs, different. They're the discs. Got them. And then, I mean, what else do you get? I mean, you gotta have a squat rack, because I mean, weightlifting is pretty much. I mean, with a squat rack, you can do jerks, you can do snatch balances, you can do front squats, back squats. Fuck, dude, that's really all you need to be a weightlifter too. And a squat rack. Personally, Coach B has a set of Iron Mind. He has like 2 or 3 sets of Iron Mind squat racks in his gym, and I use the same one every time. And if you could find an Iron Mind set of squat rack, and it's the ones that are 2 like independent racks where you can move them around, and they have like a round little bottom to it. Those are the best squat. That's what I squatted my back squat PR on, and those things have never budged an inch. I tried squatting like 400 or 500 pounds in the garage downstairs, and the squat rack I got is a little wobbly, a little scary. All right, so to sum it all up, the Alico Olympic weightlifting bar, training bar, or competition bar. If money's not an issue, dude, just go for it. Send it. Oh, I had a kid at work say send it like with every sentence. It was ridiculous. So full send on the Olympic weightlifting bar, the Olympic weightlifting discs from Alico. But I really like any discs will do, but if money's not an issue, why not? And then a squat rack, Iron Mind squat rack. I mean, if money's not an issue, you could definitely go to Home Depot and build a platform. Platform costs like $200 to make. So that's cool. All in all, you're going to spend maybe money's no thing. Easily like 7 or 8 grand on those 3 things. Excited. So thank you for putting that one on, adding that question right before the story died. I appreciate that. I'll answer that. I'll send you a message. Full Metal Lifter. All right. So last thing I got was the email, the advice. And this is something I've been looking forward to since I started doing this, because I like just talking to people, getting to know people, and sometimes people need a a kick right in the ass. So who knows? Maybe I'll learn something. Hopefully this person learns something, but hopefully we all learn something. So the need advice. Hey Caesar, love the podcast. I was wondering if you'd give me some advice on some stuff. I can't seem to find motivation to do the things that I must anymore. I'm going back to school, I have a job, and I'm just lost. I'm kind of spiraling into an abyss of inactivity, and I'm just losing grip on my life. What can I do to find some direction, if not make the best with what I have and where I'm headed? Well, gosh, for the first one, that was pretty loaded. Goodness. Okay. So, here we go. I guess the most important thing is understanding there's a difference between motivation and being motivated and being driven. The difference between the two is that motivation comes sparingly, kind of like a drug. You know, you take a pain pill, you're gonna not hurt for a little bit, but it's the underlying issue is there. Being motivated wears off, so it's gonna wear off easily. So understandably, if you can't find motivation in anything, it's probably because the motivation that you have is wearing off a lot sooner. Being driven is a different thing. It's being driven to find that thing that kind of that gets your ass into gear, that kicks your ass into gear. That's different. You know, there's something that I read. It was the reason why it's so hard to wake up in the morning, and I kind of like wholeheartedly believe this, is the fact that it's hard to wake up early in the morning or just wake up early at all because most people don't wake up for anything, or they don't wake up for something that kind of drives them or motivates them. And I've single-handedly experienced it. You know, there's times where tomorrow morning I have to go and train. I have to go train at CrossFit Marietta at 6 in the morning, like 6:15 in the morning, and I can wake up. I don't even need an alarm for that. Like, I'll wake up like that, get ready, go down, get ready, go to the bathroom, get ready, go and train and be done, and then come home and be ready to go. And then everything kind of dumps off when I have to go get ready for work. But I have no problem waking up for training. I have no problem waking up early on weekends after falling asleep really late, waiting for Bailey, because I get to wake up and do the things that I love to do. On the other hand, most days when I have to wake up and go to work, it's hard. That's a hard thing to do. You know, for me, I have to get up and I have to drive for about an hour to go to work, and it's not a fun drive, and then I have to drive that hour back home. It's just deal with people, and that's not something that's fun. So understandably, not being able to wake up for that, not my ass isn't getting into gear for that, I get it. So I can get where your motivation is, you're losing that motivation. You can't find that motivation. I mean, you said it. I mean, if you're lost, you're lost. But that doesn't mean that you can't find yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's I mean, you said right there that you're spiraling into an abyss of inactivity. So by not doing anything, by not moving forward, you're just kind of stuck in the middle. By not moving in any direction, there's nothing pulling you. There's nothing pushing you. There's nothing driving you to want to experience new things. You're just stuck in the routine of going to school, going to work, that's rough. That's rough. That's life for a lot of, I don't know how old you are, but that's life for a lot of young adults. It's life for a lot of adults and a lot of older, or older adults who are stuck with work and kids and all that kind of jazz. It's losing grip on life is definitely a good way to put it, where sometimes if you don't feel like you're at the wheel of your own life, you can just kind of skate by, and before you know it, you've been coasting on autopilot for a long time. So I guess the thing that you can do with finding some direction is you need to reset. You need to give yourself time to reset or rejuvenate by trying something new. Try something new. Try something that you haven't done before. If you're stuck doing the same old things, fucking throw a wrench into the mix. Throw a wrench in that chain and break that chain. You gotta break that vicious cycle of that grip. Break that grip. Lose that grip. Yeah, break it. You gotta break that cycle of that recursiveness, that mediocrity, that not mediocrity. That's different. It's a different word. Monotony. That's the word. Monotony. There's a lot of things that become monotonous over time. So you have to snap out of that monotony of everyday life and excite yourself again. Rejuvenate who you are inside and bust ass. Bust some ass. I love what I do. I love weightlifting. I love podcasting. If I didn't start something completely different 2.5 years ago when I started weightlifting, and I just wanted to do this, and I just wanted to be a weightlifter, if I hadn't thrown something that I could get good at and just challenge myself, that was breaking the monotony of every single, of every day of just going to school and going to work, I don't know where I'd be today. I definitely wouldn't be in a good situation. I'd probably be in the same place. I'd probably be a lot worse off, to be honest. But, I'm an advocate for weightlifting, because weightlifting is going to show you there's always something you can do to get better. The smallest detail, you're going to get better. You focus on the small things, you'll get better. So, try weightlifting. Try, go to the gym. Try weightlifting. Find a coach. Hit me up. Talk to me. I'll talk to you. I'll help you out with weightlifting. If weightlifting's not your thing, if sports aren't your thing, try writing. Try reading. Challenge yourself to read a full book. Read a full book in a week on top of what you have to read for school. Read something you want to read. If it's work and do something different at work. Challenge yourself at work. Be better than your coworkers because you want to. Or if you're on the brink of wanting to leave anyway and change up your entire life, if you're in a position to where you can change your life, change your life. No one can tell you no. No one can tell you no, you can't change your life. No one can tell you, hey, you're crazy, bro. You're gonna, or sis, bro or sis, whoever sent this. No one can say, hey, you shouldn't do that. It's unsafe. Fuck yeah. But you know what? It's unsafe sitting here. I could die from an aneurysm right now. It's one of those things where there's nothing that could really, what's the worst that can happen? You die, and then it's not even your problem anymore. Just throw my body in the trash. I guess the most important thing is change up your routine. Change up throw yourself a change up. Change what it is that you do. If you want to escape the monotony of everyday life, you have to think different and be different, and challenge yourself with small little tasks, or a big goal, or something you want to learn, something you want to do. If it's people in your life and people are holding you back, sometimes you got to make the hard decision. That's all life is. It's a jumble of hard, uncomfortable, painful decisions, and then you get a few cool, good ones here and there. But what's the good without the bad? Who knows? Who knows what could happen? I don't. But I definitely think you need to do something different. Change it up a little bit. Change it up and get out of that vicious cycle of monotony. I know that a lot of people are probably struggling with that, but I think that's the easiest thing you can do. Change something up. Your diet, your activity, your passion, your people, whatever you want. Change it up. When variety is the spice of life. If again, nobody likes bland chicken. If you're eating the same bland, disgusting oven-baked chicken every day with no salt and pepper on it, at least salt and pepper on it, I mean, at some point you're going to look at that chicken and you're going to punch yourself in the face. So go get some of that seasoning. Go make your life delicious. Go make your person and body and your mind. Go season your mind. So that's it. That's a podcast. Went a little bit longer than expected, so that's kind of cool. I think I want to keep Wednesdays as the Q&A day, or that'd be tight. So start sending me emails, guys. Jesus. I just need more emails. I want to talk to people. I want to hear your problems, because I want to talk to you about your problems. I tell you about my problems all the time. Let me talk to you about yours. So that's a podcast, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope your Wednesday goes well wherever you're listening to this on the car ride to work, back from work, at work, trying to waste some time. I'm glad that you wasted your time with me. Go forth and season your life, everybody. That's the best thing that you can do for yourself. Throw some seasoning on it. I love you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow on Thursday. For all my national level weightlifters, today is the last day that you can register for nationals. Tomorrow today's the last full day. Tomorrow by 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So go get it, and I'll see you guys at nationals. But I'll talk to everybody on Thursday and sometime over the weekend, and then Monday back at it again. Later, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.